Welcome to JoyNews Today. I am Amiesi Nyamiche Thompson. We head right into the stories. JoyNews research shows over 40 billion cedis interest payments have been made so far, with government yet to begin the settlement of principal amount under the domestic debt exchange program. Government has paid 10 billion cedis in interest under the domestic debt exchange program, marking a major milestone in the country's fiscal consolidation efforts. The payment announced on Wednesday is the sixth coupon under the program and the second made entirely in cash with no payment in kind component. Head of research at JoyNews, Kofi J, joins me now with details of the payments made so far. So, Kofi, over 40 billion cedis paid so far on interest. Break this down for us.
Well, Mami, so we are seeing the sixth payment being made so far. A significant component of the over 40 billion cedis paid to both external and local are coming from the interest rate angle. Government is yet to pay huge sums of money in terms of interest payments. Coupon, principal payment and amortization. In terms of the breakdown, we are seeing the 10 billion so far being the biggest disbursement under the coupon payments under the DDEP. And if you look at the cocoa bill aspect, where about 7.7 billion cedis was restructured, government is also paying interest on that as well. So far, we've only seen one, in terms of payment in kind, one just about 3.1 billion cedis so far. But the payments has averaged around 9 billion, with the current 10 billion being the highest so far.
Well, take me back to 2023. How much was restructured and what was the exposure like, especially bills from Cocobod?
Well, Mami, I'm sure investors will not like to recall the haircuts they actually received, but with the payments coming in so far, it means that they're beginning to grow some level of hair. But in terms of the exposure, we understand the data we are gathering shows that the first leg of the DDEP actually targeted about 96.6 billion cedis, which about 87 billion cedis was restructured. In terms of participation, it was around 90.7%, the highest, in fact, so far. Pension funds involved didn't really suffer any form of haircut, but participation was around 95%. Cocoa bills, just like I mentioned, about 7.9 billion was restructured. And in terms of the institution with the highest haircut, in terms of the DDEP, came from the Bank of Ghana. About 70.9 billion Ghana cedis was restructured. Their participation rate was about 100%. In terms of the exposures and the loss per category, if you look at the treasury bills, treasury bonds, ESLA bonds, and Dache bonds, exposure, the estimated loss as a result of the DDEP, per what we have done, is about 12.4 billion cedis. US-denominated local bonds suffered about 7.2 billion cedis. Cocoa bills, again, we understand Cocobod is going to go to the markets again. As a result of the DDEP, the market lost about 4.5 billion, one of the highest.
Right.
Bank of Ghana lost close to about 40 billion cedis. Pension funds didn't really lose any much. So the estimated gain to government was about 60.8 billion, but to individuals and investors, that was about 61 billion Ghana cedis, Mamisi.
Thank you so much, Kofi J, head of research here at JoyNews. Now, joining me on the phone lines is Dr. Eduanane Entry. And Doc, we're grateful for your time. You were affected by these haircuts somewhere last year. Has the money hit your account yet?
I've always been saying that there was no haircut for. Technically, if we say haircut, it means part of your principal wasn't coming back to you.
Right.
But it was interest, and that was affected. But,
have you seen the payments yet in your accounts?
No, you see, these payments, for those who were exempted, for example, my pensioners, if you were exempted, or you didn't even submit your bonds for the restructuring, to be restructured, then for you, you are not part of this group. Your coupon continues to be paid to you as and when it's due every 6 months. So some people were getting theirs last week, last 2 weeks, last 3 weeks, last month, like that. But for those who bonds were restructured and giving new ones, for them it comes every 6 months. All of them put together every 6 months, there is a coupon due. And that is why it becomes very heavy, because all the restructured bonds, everybody's coupon becomes due the same time, every 6 months, the same time. That becomes due. This is one of the coupons that are due that the government is paying now. So it's not for people who did not change their bond or did not have their bond restructured. But those that the bonds that were restructured every 6 months, the coupons must be paid, and that is a huge amount because everybody is being paid at the same time.
Right. Thank you very much, Dr. Adriana Nyentri. The minority has turned its rage over government's slash of cocoa price on the Minister for Finance, Dr. Kesila. The minority leader, Alexander Penyumakin, is demanding an immediate summons of the Finance Minister to Parliament to answer questions over the decision. The cocoa price cut has sparked intense public debate over the last few days, compelling staff of Cocobod to also cut their salaries by 20% and 10% respectively. We'll bring you details of that shortly, but first listen to the minority leader from the floor of Parliament on Tuesday, threatening to employ every legal means to summon Atofosin after describing the cocoa price cut as illegal and must be reversed.
This is a House of Parliament, a platform of the people's representatives. This is where we discuss national issues. Mr. Speaker, the majority leader is telling the country that government policy can be announced anywhere, and my finance minister is not obliged to come to the House of Parliament. Mr. Speaker, the cocoa farmers in Volta region, in Ashanti region, in Bono, in Western North, Mr. Speaker, they have been denying honorable members their earnings. But Mr. Speaker, if the finance minister does not come, if the majority leader will not bring the finance minister, we, the minority, will use the appropriate laws available to us to summon the finance minister.
Thank you.
The cocoa farmers cannot be abandoned. We will not abandon the cocoa farmers.
Honorable members.
Well, Cocobod, on the other hand, has announced a 20% salary cut for management and 10% cut for senior staffs. Now, spokesperson for the Ghana National Cocoa Farmers Association, Nana Eduna II, however, says the salary cut is inadequate.
The price reduction was about 28% or a bit more. And I would expect that Cocobod would actually take the lead and do even more. After all, again, we farmers actually provide whether emoluments for their salaries, procurement, etc. So I was expecting that they would do a minimum of 30%, and it really should be across board in terms of tax allowances. It should also impact on board, etc. So it should be across board. I think that the current level is a bit cosmetic, and they can actually do way more. You know, this is a show of commitment plus a realistic look at cost reduction.
I will speak to Cocobod shortly for more, but first, the team here has been looking around the numbers, and James Avaji joins me on Zoom with details of this. James, have we been able to establish the staff strength of Cocobod, and how much savings could be made from this cut?
What we've been finding out is that the Cocobod currently has a staff strength of a little over 10,000 persons working with Cocobod, including both the senior staff and the junior staff put together. So we speak, and these are our information. The current CEO of the Cocobod, Randy Abe, when he took over office somewhere last year, at the time he announced an audit into the workforce of Cocobod, where he laments the large number of persons employed by Cocobod. And at the time, he put the payment figure to all of these persons at somewhere $12 million US, reason why he instituted that audit into the workforce of Cocobod. What we are also learning now is that this 10 and 20% salary cut respectively should be saving the country around 5 million Ghana cedis every month, information put out by the PRO, the head of PR relations for the Ghana Cocobod. That's what we've been learning about the figures at Cocobod as we speak, Mamiesi. Right,
James, thank you for that update. Well, head of corporate communications at Cocobod, Sam Jerome, joins us for some clarity on this. So I'm grateful for your time on JoyNews Today. How did you arrive at the 5 million cedi savings that will be made monthly from this salary cut? We're still trying to establish contact to Jerome, but we're still on the issue of salary cut for Cocobod workers, especially management, senior management. That's what we're talking about. And we are trying to, understand how much savings that Cocobod is making on the salary cuts that it's made so far. Also, we're grateful to have Jerome on the line with us. Grateful for your time. I was trying to understand how you arrive at the 5 million cedis amount savings you're making on the salary cut recently announced.
So thank you very much. Let me put this on record. I have not factually put out any amount. Yesterday in a conversation or in an interview, what I did indicate was that a question was posed, and I said, being tentative about it, considering the number of employees or staff that Cocobod has. If you are even dividing into two, or saying that maybe 9,000 as senior staff members, and you do a simple arithmetic calculation, maybe you'll be getting no less than 5 million for a month. However, it is important to also state that I did indicate that by the end of today or tomorrow, the HR department and the finance department will give us all the necessary documentation for us to know as to how much savings we are making at the end of every month for us to do it, for us to put it forward. But the most important thing we need to discuss is that the step taken by Dr. Randiabe and the new management, is it something that would help mitigate some of the difficulties that we have faced or not? And I think that the issues Cocobod is facing today are on twofold. One, we are talking about a situation where we are experiencing a sharp or a drastic reduction on the international market in relation to price. And the other one has to do with what industry cost or expenses that Cocobod has mentioned. So if we are dealing with the external one, which we have no control about it, the government through cabinet has elected or given us a number of reforms that upon its full implementation will be able to deal with the issue. And internally, what Dr. Randiabe decides or intends doing is that, let me first begin with what? A pay cut. It is quite unfortunate that this decision of Dr. Randiabe has coincided with the difficulty we are now experiencing because it has been on the table. If you could remember, when he came, he has always raised issues or complained about the fact that Cocobod's payroll has been ballooned. And if you want to be prudent, then we really need to do something about it. So arriving at this decision wasn't something that was difficult at all for Dr. Randiabe to make. And also, the farmer upon whose sweat a Cocobod staff is paid has been adversely affected because of what is going on. So on what moral justification or ground will anybody working at Cocobod who say that I do not agree to the fact that a salary cut should happen? Because we are not being paid by government. We are not being paid by any other individual, but we are being paid out of the sweat of the cocoa farmer. Because if we go to make sale of the cocoa farmer, that is where we generate revenue and subsequently do what? Pay any Cocobod staff. So why would anybody thinking that it is not expected In fact, the right thing is what has been done, and every person who really wants to associate or identify with whatever that the farmer is going through today will have no cause to complain or worry about what is happening today at all.
Well, you talk about the farmers and they want more sacrifice from you. Are you willing to give them more than just 20%?
You see, in effect, in as much as we are employees of government, our relevance is contingent on the existence of the farmer.
Right.
Because whatever that we get, we are getting it out of the revenue of the cocoa sale that we make. And that is why the Dr. Randiabe-led administration has made a promise that, look, we are not only cutting the salary, we are also going into some infractions that we have been experiencing in procurement. So as we speak, the next few weeks, after conclusions to all the procurement that is being done, we would issue a release for all Ghanaians to know how much savings the Dr. Randiabe-led Cocobod has been able to make, as against what used to be the case the previous years. So a number of factors are being considered. We also spoke about staff rationalization.
Right.
My dear sister, I will not sit here to say that somebody should lose his or her job. But the fact is, any staff of Cocobod should epitomize some level of efficiency and productivity. So if somebody has been employed and upon investigation or forensic audit, it shows that this person's absence will not even affect the activities of Cocobod, I'm sure a decision will be taken. I'm sure certainly a decision will be taken. And all these are being done to making sure that we have or we restore the one-time glorious Cocobod to its previous state that it used to be.
Right. Grateful for your time, San Jerome, is head of corporate communication at Cocobod. We can now hear from General Secretary of the NDC, Fifi Kwete, who believes the farmers are okay with the price slash.
The price has been reduced because the world market prices have collapsed, which is affecting agriculture, which is affecting Togo, which is affecting all other countries. So if the country says we are making that sacrifice to give you 90%, which is the first time we've ever gone anything close to in terms of percentage of FOB, 90%, much of that is not what it is that you hope to get. They appreciate that that's a lot of sacrifice that has been made for them. And then, of course, with that commitment, they do know when the prices go up, there's a government that would do a lot more for them. So I know our friends in NPP were hoping that this is their final opportunity to have a go at the NDC. The NPP, you failed again. The farmers of Ghana are smarter than you. They know that this problem is beyond Ghana. It's affecting Togo, it's affecting agriculture. So your hope that somehow you're going to get some, shall I call it, a major scoring point on this, you failed again.
Well, police in Accra have arrested a suspect in connection with the theft of a newborn baby from the Mamprobi Polyclinic after the infant was safely recovered and is now receiving medical treatment. Authorities say the suspect is in the custody assisting with investigations following the shocking incident that sparked concern over security at the health facility. And Ramat Bashiru is there for us at the community and joins us on the phone lines. Ramat, what's the mood in the community?
Mamesi, the mood here is very, the residents in this community were very happy with the decision by the police together with the gender minister and the MP for the constituency coming together to look for the stolen baby who was allegedly stolen by the suspect, who is now currently in police custody. The residents say they do not understand what went wrong and they have blamed the situation on poor security conditions in the area, especially the facility, and are calling on government to immediately sack all the health workers and the security personnel in that particular facility. But the gender minister was also there, and she also urged calm in the community, saying that they should be happy that the baby has been found, but they are going to work with other relevant authorities to ensure that adequate treatment is given to the baby. As we speak, before we left the health facility, the baby and the mother has been successfully discharged. They are going home to enjoy. The father tells us that he is going to take legal action against the suspect if nothing is being done about it by the police service.
Ramat Bashir, thanks for that update. Well, she's been interacting with community members.
One in here and die. We haven't slept since yesterday night. I went off around 4 a.m. and we just wake up around like 4:30 in here and die.
So what actually happened?
The parents said like, this thing that happened, it can happen to be as or the guy seen home by as next form. Just say maybe alright also camera a bit capture everyone room. What I say.
So right now what do you want? Now the baby has been found. Do you think they should let everything go or you?
No, we are taking a legal action because the mom is being traumatized and so
she's traumatized.
Yes, so we have already spoken to our lawyer and we are taking it on.
We also want to say a big thank you to the police that they've been able to work to get the baby reconciled to the mother, or united with the mother. Today, as we speak this morning, the police can attest that yes, that is the baby. The parents have confirmed, and then the suspect is in the custody of the police. I want to thank my colleagues in Parliament, Honorable Paul Van der Koy, and then Reverend Adu, for their cooperation. When I called them early this morning, they've all been here and they've been on the case as well, and we've been able to make an inroad into the case. And we are going to follow to make sure that baby, mother, and then everybody is safe. And then the suspect as well, also and there's some support. And our social workers will also be on the case to make sure that we minimize or completely get rid of such baby cases or incidents in the hospitals. So this is where we are. The baby and the mother have been taken for medical attention.
Well, some good news there, but scores of teachers are picketing the Ghana Education Service headquarters, accusing government of failing to fulfill its obligations in issuing staff IDs, a delay they say has left many without salaries for over 14 months. Well, we'll bring you that report in subsequent bulletins. Let's go to the police headquarters now for a briefing on that baby situation.
One in here and die. We haven't slept since yesterday night. I went off around 4 a.m. and we just wake up around like 4:30 in here and die.
So what actually happened?
The parents said like, this thing that happened, it can happen to be as or the guy seen home by as next form. Just say maybe alright also camera a bit capture everyone room. What I say.
So right now what do you want? Now the baby has been found. Do you think they should let everything go or you?
No, we are taking a legal action because the mom is being traumatized and so
she's traumatized.
Yes, so we have already spoken to our lawyer and we are taking it on.
We also want to say a big thank you to the police that they've been able to work to get the baby reconciled to the mother, or united with the mother. Today, as our command Dansoman, we welcome all of you to the Dansoman Divisional Headquarters this afternoon to give you a brief on a child stealing incident reported in Mamprobi and the subsequent arrest of a suspect by the Dansoman Divisional Command. Now, this briefing intends to provide the facts of the case, the actions taken by the police so far,
and important safety measures for the public. The Nansiman Divisional Police Command of the Ghana Police Service has arrested suspect Latifa Salifu in connection with the stealing of a 4-day-old baby boy from the postnatal ward of Mamprobi Hospital here in Accra. The arrest follows swift police investigations and public cooperation after the incident was reported on Tuesday, the 17th of February 2026. On the 17th of February 2026 at about 10 a.m., one Abigail Jukini, accompanied by Henrietta Abe Blessed, reported to the police that an unidentified woman disguised as a nurse and had stolen a newborn baby from the hospital's postnatal ward. The baby's mother, Precious Ankoma, informed the police that she delivered the baby boy on the 14th of February 2026. She stated that a woman dressed in a nurse's peach-colored uniform took the baby under the pretext of administering medication and disappeared thereafter. Police immediately visited the facility, obtained statements, and immediately launched a manhunt for the suspect. This afternoon, it is refreshing to know that today, at about 3:40 this morning, the police arrested a suspect, Latifa Salifu, who is 33 years of age and is a cloth seller here in Accra, at the premises of Kolebu Teaching Hospital, where she was found with a baby suspected to have been the missing child. Suspect claimed that she had delivered at the hospital and was discharged due to lack of birth. However, police investigations at the hospital revealed there was no records to support her claim. The suspect is currently in police custody, whilst arrangements are underway to place the baby under hospital care for safekeeping, further investigations, and medical attention. At this moment, the police would want to remind the public, particularly health facilities and families, to remain vigilant and observe the following measures. We expect that for hospitals and health facilities, we enforce strict identification protocols for staff and for visitors, ensure babies are released only after proper verification, install and monitor CCTV systems in maternity wards and other wards, including entrances. We also expect that we maintain visitors' logs and restrict access to postnatal wards. Report suspicious persons or activities immediately. Meanwhile, this morning, at the time of the incident and at the time of the arrest, the Minister for Gender and Children and Social Protection, Honorable Na Momo, and the Honorable Member for Parliament for Ablekuma South, including the Regional Police Commander, DCOP Dut Tuaruka, has visited the Divisional Police Command and has also gone to the facility where the incident happened and has assured and provided adequate security to obstruct future occurrences. The Accra Regional Police Command commends the general public and the whistleblower for their vigilance and cooperation. Investigations are ongoing and further updates will be communicated soon. Thank you very much. If there are any questions, we'll take it from here. Thank you.
And that was Superintendent Julian Obeng, Greater Accra PRO for the police. Now, and that's how we wrap up this edition of Joy News Today. I am Amiesi Nyamiche Thompson. There's more news on myjoyonline.com.